Earlier in the show, I told you about how drugs like fentanyl that are at the core of Canada's opioid epidemic are coming into the country by Canada Post. Joining me now is Maclean's associate editor, Claire Brownell. You've spent weeks working on this, a long time on this investigation, looking into this issue. You know, when it comes to Canada Post, what is it like, or what is it about Canada Post that drug dealers on the dark web love about using the system?
Sure. Well, for one thing, the reason fentanyl in particular is particularly suited to being sent through the mail. So the way it usually works is that there are laboratories in China who are manufacturing it. Someone in Canada places an order, whether that's an organized crime group placing a bulk order or an individual, placing sort of a smaller order. And then because you can have so much, it packs so much of a punch in such a small amount, you can have 15,000 fatal doses in just 30 grams. You can buy it on the internet with the click of a button. You send it through the mail. It can fit in the size of a letter package, and it's just a really simple way for them to distribute it.
And you went on the dark web and you looked at how what the shipping methods are. What did you find?
Yeah, that's right. So I spent some time going on some of these dark web drug markets, just taking a look at which shipping methods that they're preferring. I found across the board they only offer Canada Post. I even reached out to a few of them, asked, would you ship this via UPS instead? They said no, Canada Post only. And so the reason for that is because there's a loophole in the law, you could call it, that makes it so that police can't search packages sent via Canada Post, even though they can get a warrant to search them through courier services. It's based on old ideas back when the mail was really important and part of personal privacy. It's something that's persisted to this day, and it's caused this discrepancy between the two methods.
And so now it's only CBSA officers as well as Canada Post inspectors, right, who can go in and open up the mail, but police don't even have those powers.
That's right. That's something that I found really interesting to learn, was that police actually have fewer powers to inspect the mail than Canada Post do, and then border officials do.
Now, you spoke with one drug user who actually uses the dark web. He orders his drugs online, and they come to his home by Canada Post. How often does he say his stuff is being intercepted?
He said it's never being intercepted, and that's something, I've monitored a few conversations of people on online forums, and they pretty much across the board, nobody's ever particularly worried about the police coming and knocking on their door, even though, they're ordering it essentially like you would order something on Amazon.
This really comes down quickly to the balance, between privacy. Police would like to be able to get warrants to inspect mail, but also about our privacy as citizens, about not, handing over the keys to our mailbox.
Yeah, so I think what's important there is just, why have a discrepancy, right? Like, why, if you think that privacy is important and police shouldn't be able to search the mail, then they shouldn't be able to search packages sent through a courier service either. I can't, I think it would be tough to make an argument for the current system that we have where there's this sort of dual powers depending on how you ship it.
Claire, thank you so much for your time. I know you put a lot of effort into this one. Now you can read Claire's full article on Maclean's. We have some of the highlights from her story up on our website, citynews.ca.